Hey, what is up everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I will be analyzing all of the most recent developments in the Boku no Hero Epic War Arc. The war is now taking place on two separate battlefronts, as we know, and we just got important updates from both fronts. The heroes and hero students have just made some serious progress. They are striking back against the villains, but the next big threat is just around the corner. Do not let your guard down because the villains are just getting started, so let's talk about it. If you enjoy the Boku no Hero content on the channel and you want us to keep it going, please leave a like to let me know, it really does help. And if you happen to be new to the channel, or you just haven't subscribed, make this the video that you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. You really have to go through the trouble of hitting that notification bell and then selecting the option that says all. If you don't do that, you're gonna miss a lot of our videos, even if you are subscribed. It's just how YouTube's system works. Finally, this video will of course contain Boku no Hero manga spoilers. We're talking about the very latest events in the story, so please proceed with caution. You have been warned. In the previous installment of the story, we left off with Mina using her Acidment technique to cover her entire body in acid, and she then threw herself right into the blazing fire around Machia in an attempt to reach his mouth and force him to swallow that sleeping agent. In honor of our girl Mina, the cover page for this chapter is Mina looking super badass and surrounded by her acid. Let me know down in the comments if you think that Mina is best girl. I'm still a Momo man myself, but Mina is definitely growing on me. No one competes with Miruko of course, but that goes without saying. As the rest of the students are trying to navigate their way around the giant forest fire created by Dabi, we can see that our boy Kaminari appears to be injured. However, it looks like he will be fine, because when he realizes that Class 1B girl Reiko Yanagi is supporting his head in her lap, Kaminari's all like, lap pillow? Nice. And you know that out there somewhere Minata is jealous AF. But while the other students are trying to find their bearings amidst the fire, Mina is advancing on Gigantomachia. She is obviously putting herself in great danger by doing this, and I'm sure that she is quite scared, but she pushes on bravely, determined to do her part to stop the villains. I have to say that I have huge respect for Mina for doing this. There is no guarantee that her acid will actually hold up for long enough in these thick flames, and yet she is willing to take that risk in the name of being a hero. If I was her, I don't think that I would be rushing into a raging inferno, acid or no acid, so again, kudos to our girl Mina. But as Mina gets close enough to Machia, she hears his voice, and she suddenly realizes that Machia is the same villain that she met back when she was a middle schooler. Machia was the giant man who had asked two other middle school girls for directions, and after they didn't answer right away, Machia became agitated and he nearly tore down an entire building. Mina stepped in and made up some directions just to get Machia to leave. She was absolutely terrified in that situation, but thankfully she was able to overcome her fear for long enough to save her classmates from Machia's wrath. Kirishima always admired Mina for being brave enough to act in that situation with Machia, because as you will recall, back then Kirishima didn't have the kind of courage and confidence that Mina had. But it seems that upon recognizing Machia, Mina's fear from that earlier encounter suddenly returns, and so instead of seeing herself as a fierce hero in a hero uniform, she begins to think of herself as just a young girl again, a young girl still wearing her middle school uniform. This moment of surprise and hesitation leads to Mina botching her throw. Her finger slips and she fails to toss the sleeping agent into Machia's mouth. The next thing we know, Machia once again succeeds in overcoming Mount Lady and he manages to throw her off of him. He then begins emerging out of the pit that the students had trapped him in, and he nearly crushes Mina to death with his gigantic hand. Thankfully, in the very nick of time, the manly mad lad himself, Red Ride Unbreakable, also known as Kirishima, comes to Mina's rescue and pushes her out of the way before she is crushed by Machia. However, as a result of throwing himself into harm's way, Kirishima seems to have taken some damage. Tetsu then grabs Mina, picks her up off the ground, and escorts her to safety. Mina is worried about Kirishima and what will happen to him, but Tetsu assures Mina that Kirishima is tough. He won't burn up in the flames, and he is faster than Tetsu, so Kirishima is probably their best option right now for sedating Machia. Gigantomachia finally manages to stand up all the way, and he shakes off all of the other students who had been attempting to take him down. It doesn't look too good for the students at this point. Machia is out of the trap, and now that he is standing, it will be much harder to reach his mouth. It looks like the students' plan has failed, despite their best efforts. But our boy Kirishima isn't ready to give up just yet. He goes back into his red right unbreakable form and uses his sharp fingers to literally climb up Machia's body until he reaches the monster's face. As Kirishima prepares to throw the sleeping agent into Machia's mouth, Toga sees him and she is able to throw one of her knives at the container. The container breaks and all the liquid spills out. At first it looks like Kirishima failed just like all the other students, but as it turns out, Kirishima had a backup container in one of his pockets. I am assuming that back when he had rescued Mina, Kirishima grabbed her container. So now, even though one of his containers was just broken by Toga, Kirishima still has another one, and he successfully chucks the sleeping agent right into Machia's mouth. As the liquid spills into Machia's mouth, Kirishima is rescued by Setsuna. The other students then begin launching long-range attacks at Machia from the ground using what look like cannons. The more Machia moves now, the faster the sleeping agent will spread. And thankfully, this is the exact moment in which the pro heroes finally arrive. Majestic, the magic hero, Fat Gum, and a bunch of others are here, and Machia is visibly frustrated by the fact that these little flies, as he calls them, just keep coming. At this point, we also see that Machia's jaw is apparently dislodging from his mouth, and this outer jaw eventually reveals a smaller jawline beneath. I'm not sure how or why his jaw became dislodged, but presumably it will now be easier for Machia to use his gigantic and extremely sharp teeth against the heroes. So it is quite possible that this dislodging of the outer jaw is an intentional move by Machia. This means that he now intends to use his massive teeth to chew through the heroes. As the pro heroes prepare to engage Machia, the chapter suddenly switches focus back to Jakku. We see Endeavor standing on his feet and looking absolutely fierce as Shigaraki lies face down on the ground. Endeavor proclaims that no matter how much power Shigaraki obtains, the heroes will never yield to his destruction which seems to lack any sort of conviction. As Bakugo and Deku look on, Shigaraki laughs. He says that all the heroes hurt their own families in their desperate pursuit of helping others, including complete strangers. These words that Shigaraki is speaking were the words of his father, who always resented the fact that his own mother, Nana Shimura, abandoned her family in order to be a hero. Shigaraki says that if that is what Endeavor considers to be conviction, then Shigaraki does indeed have it. Shigaraki looks like he is about to stand up again, and that is how this action-packed chapter ends. Man, I can't wait to see how this battle in Jakku is going to shape up. And the fact that Shigaraki brought up hurting one's own family in the name of being a hero to Endeavor suggests that we are likely going to get that Dabi reveal in this arc. So assuming that is true, I am really hyped to see that happen. The big question is, what happens now with Gigantomachia and Shigaraki? In this chapter, we saw the heroes and hero students strike back, and now things are finally looking up for them. Shigaraki is down on the ground, and Machia is presumably going to be sedated after consuming Momo's sleeping agent. But let's not forget that appearances can be deceiving, and we have already seen many twists and misdirections in this arc alone. I mean, sure, Machia might end up getting sedated, but there is no guarantee that that will actually happen. We still have no idea what other quirks this guy possesses and what kind of body alterations he has undergone as a result of Ujiko's experiments. It could turn out that Momo's sedative isn't as effective as the heroes were hoping, which means that Machia may continue to be a serious threat in the future. And his whole jaw thing was very creepy, and to me that indicates that there is probably more to Machia and his abilities than we realize. He probably still has some tricks up his sleeve. Over in Jakku, Endeavor looks like he has taken some serious damage, but for the moment, Endeavor, Deku, and Bakugo, along with the other heroes, seem to have the advantage over Shigaraki. But is that going to last? What is Aizawa doing? How long can he keep cancelling out Shigaraki's quirks before he makes a mistake and Shigaraki takes advantage of that mistake to get back to full power? I think that the current situation in Jakku is just the calm before the storm. and in the next few chapters, I fully expect that Shigaraki will make a massive comeback. Endeavor, Bakugo, Aizawa, and the others could be in serious danger in the next few chapters, although let's face it, Deku probably isn't in danger since he is the main character. Oh, and this is just a side note, but I personally loved the Mina and Kirishima moment. In the past, Kirishima wasn't confident and brave, and he looked up to Mina because she had those qualities. And now, in this chapter, Kirishima was able to help Mina in her moment of doubt by rescuing her and then completing the mission she was trying to complete. I thought that this was really awesome on Kirishima's part, and since I totally ship Kirishima and Mina, I hope we get to see more interactions between them in the future. Don't get me wrong, I don't pay much attention to ships, and I don't think they're a big deal, they don't have that much of an impact on the story anyway, but I would be totally cool with Kirishima and Mina getting together. Let me know what you guys think. Is Machia really about to be sedated, or does he have more tricks up his sleeve? Is Shigaraki about to make a comeback? And if so, what does that mean for the heroes who are currently in Jakku? Finally, where does the story go from here? Is this battle nearing its conclusion, or are we just getting started? Definitely share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like it, please leave a like to let me know, it really does help. And if you happen to be new to this channel, or maybe you just haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to turn on all notifications. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. I want to give a big thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons who make videos like this one possible. An extra special thank you to Alpha, a disciple of Lord Twigo himself. And I can't forget our The One tier patrons, the ones who rise above all other clans, including Ingrata, Alolan The World, Steelers, A Quiet Respect, Pate Heffa, Jonathan King, Brandon Aviles, Papa Smurf, Emperor Otaku, Thomas Jones, and Kinmano. Finally, big thank you to all of our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, nothing but a fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, Anatoly Kazatsky, Angel Cruz, Cricket XP, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Alicia Akhter, Jessica K. LaFond, Hinokami and Water, Bonnie Parks, Rathuin Deora, Deadly Saint, and Stern Hawkins. If you enjoy our videos and you feel that they provide value to you, consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a single dollar will give you access to our Patreon exclusive Discord, and your name will appear in our videos along with these amazing people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.